Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 12, I believe, of Everything for Britain. How is everyone doing? How are we all doing? Just going to make sure my mic is connected up properly. I have flashbacks. There we go. From the last show, I believe, when I joined and my microphone wasn't even connected. It was at 11. No, 10. I think that was episode 10. I don't know. I'm losing track. It's been so long. Hi everyone, how are we all doing? So excited to be back with you all tonight. I've missed all of you. So much news happened while I was away. The whole Reform Restore thing happened. There was a massive media meltdown over Restore. Charlie Downs is the GOAT. John Cleese reposted one of my posts. It's all happened. And I've not been able to give much actual thought on it too much because I've not obviously been able to make any videos while I was away. I've made a few posts, I've remained active, but besides that, I haven't actually been able to give too much of an opinion. So we're going to be going through, the two main, most important stories about what has happened while I was away. Number one, the Reform Restore Pact. I'm going to be giving you my thoughts, what my initial thoughts were on the Pact, my general beginning analysis, and then describing what has happened since, and of course, Reform's now official response to the offer. And then we'll be talking about the media meltdown that happened the other day with Alex Phillips absolutely crashing out on Talk TV, talking like a baby and losing her mind on live national television, acting like a complete child in front of the nation. And of course, the Telegraph have released a few articles as well, but I actually think that the two articles that I have up, one's from The Guardian and the other one is from the Jewish Chronicle. Of course, the Jewish Chronicle talking about the comments made by Charlie Downs. So we're going to be getting into all of that, but first of all, let's just talk. Let's just talk to the live chat for a bit. I've missed all of you so much. Good evening, Thomas. Good evening, Nathan. Good evening. Whoa, and thank you for the £2 super chat. Really appreciate it, mate. Thank you so much. Hi, much enjoy your perspectives and hope you have many friends who are equally good at critical thinking. By the way, do you prefer Tom or Thomas? I don't have many. I don't have many friends. Yeah, I don't really have many friends. Thanks for reminding me, by the way. No, I'm kidding. I guess. No, it depends what your interpretation of critical thinking is, I guess. I'd say some do. I'd say some maybe don't, but you know. But do you prefer Tom or Thomas? I personally, I'm more used to being called Tom. People have called me Tom for a lot. Well, I've been called Tom a lot more than I've been called Thomas. My family call me Thomas. No one else really calls me Thomas. So I guess I prefer Tom. I don't really enjoy it when people outside of my family call me Thomas. So yeah, Tom. Friends call me Tom. So yeah, Tom. I guess I prefer Tom. Woohoo! I made it in time. Just got through the door. Absolutely. Thank you, Ank. Oh my god. Can we get some Ank I missed Ank. I missed you all, but I missed Ank. Can we get like a W Ank or something? He's the goat. Tom or Jerry lol? Tom? Tom, I guess? Yeah, I guess I prefer Tom. Welcome back. Thank you, David. Why is that message so funky? I'm really confused. Why is that? I don't know how YouTube, but why is that message so... Member for 1 month, upper level. Is that like a renewal membership message? I don't know. You have 5,000 friends here on YouTube. Thank you, all of you, my goats. Thank you. Every single one of you. Massively appreciate all the support. I can't get... man, I'm so happy to... I'm actually ecstatic to be back. You really... hang on. I don't know. I've never realised... I guess because I've been doing this constantly. I've been literally since I began, probably 7 months ago now. it can't be 7. Maybe like 5, 6 months ago. I've been doing it non-stop since then. And honestly, the island trip was the first real break. The island trip was my first real break away from it, where I can actually take a step away, not make any content, and just step away and take a break, have a breather, and be myself for a little while. When I say be private, I can just relax, I can switch off and just be. It's been the first real time I've been able to do that for a sustained period of time, and coming back to it, I've never really realized just how much I absolutely cherish doing this. How much I absolutely love every single one of you, love doing the show, love making the videos, love posting, all of that. Because I mean, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I don't know. But yeah, I've made a few videos. Well, a few videos went up while I was away, and they've managed to break through the reach a little bit. Don't know how that's happened, whether you guys are sharing it or not. Regardless, thank you. But a few of them have broken. What am I getting messages for? Okay. What was I even saying? What was I even saying? That's so unprofessional. I need to turn my phone on silent during the show. Sure, the phone goes on silent. Have you had a trim Is it that obvious? What do we think? What do we think of the trim? I'm liking my hair like this more. I mean, you have to excuse, it's not, I haven't washed it, I haven't showered since I had the cut. I like it though. I like it. I prefer it like this as opposed to the mess. I mean, you can literally watch the short I made earlier today, and you'll see what my hair looked like before. I prefer this so much more. I don't know. What does everyone think? I know a few people have said that they prefer my hair a bit longer. I know some of my friends prefer my hair a bit longer. My family prefer it like this. I personally agree with them. I can't even remember what I was saying. Yeah, I've just missed you all, basically. I've just missed you all. Oh yeah, a few of my videos have broken through a little bit, getting over 1,000, I think. I haven't checked in a little while. But yeah, I don't know why that's happened to a few more subscribers. And of course, the GOAT, John Cleese, reposted me. Absolute cinema. My GOAT, John, he has been popping off lately. He's been Rupert. He's been restore maxing. He's just actually been the GOAT lately. He's said I posted earlier today responding to something that he said about Jews assimilating, saying I disagree with what John said here. I've agreed with everything else. Here's why I disagree. I'm not criticizing John. I still think he's the GOAT. But the line of argument doesn't really make sense. But he's still the GOAT. I'm not gonna disavow over that, but he's still the GOAT. What do you think about Viktor Orban? I don't know. I don't really have strong opinions. I don't know. I don't really have strong opinions. He was very pro-Christian and was very pro-culture. He was very pro keeping Hungary Hungarian, which I can respect. I can respect. I don't know. Maybe he was. I don't know. I don't really look too much into Hungarian politics. I don't know. I can't really say that I really follow Hungarian politics too much. Of course, I followed the election because that was an important election. Well, it was one of the important elections in Europe, so I followed it then. I haven't really been keeping an eye on what Orban's been up to. I don't really know what his policies were. He was very pro-Christian. He was very, he was very pro-Hungarian. I wouldn't say ethno-nationalist because I don't really think he was. He was anti-immigration, anti-EU, pro-Christian, pro-Hungary. A bit too pro-Russian for me. But I don't know. Oh, he's okay. He's okay. Nathan gifting 2 channel memberships. Thank you so much, Nathan. And of course, with the congratulations to the 2 people who are now channel members. I'm thinking, by the way, to interrupt myself, I'm thinking about posting another answering your questions video soon. So I think tomorrow morning, I think you're going to see, well, if you are a channel member, keep an eye on the membership tab. I'll be posting a post only to upper level channel members asking you to ask me questions for an upcoming video. I'll be answering all of them on camera. So if you want my thoughts on anything, you want me to answer anything, just let me know and I'll give my take on it. Holy gifts for short. W Nathan. Can we get a W Nathan somewhere in the chat? Welcome, you're going back in EFB. I've missed all of you. I've missed all of you. Thank you. Bunch of EFB and you're going back. Emojis. It's glorious. It is just glorious. So you think it suits me? I think it suits me. My barber's the goat. My barber, I'm in such a good mood today. I knew today I was coming back and doing the show. The mood has been elevated. My barber has been the goat. John Cleese has been the goat. Everyone's been the goat. I'm just ecstatic today. It hides the curls. I'm growing mine out. Still been 6 months since I got a cut. Mine is getting curlier and curlier. I know it does kind of hide the curls a bit, but I think with just how curly my hair is, at least, I don't know about yours. I know we've spoken a bit about this, but at least with my hair is just so obscenely curly that I can't really do anything with it. So I have to keep it somewhat short just to keep it neat and stylable, if that makes sense. But no cut for 6 months. Jeez. I mean, fair play. We've missed you as well. Welcome back, John. Absolute patriot. What did you make of Rupert's offer? We'll be getting into all of that later. Personally, I don't know. To give you a quick take, I think it was a genius move. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I knew from when I first saw it, I was like, okay, what's going on? And I was questioning Lowe's judgment, but then the more I thought about it, and then of course I was talking about it in my local branch group chat, and then the more I kind of thought about it, the more I was thinking about the fact that, well, it's just a genius move. Farage would never accept the deal. It's just a genius move. But we'll be getting into all of that in just a moment. I'm not ignoring you, just quick overview. Don't mention the war, Tom. What war? What war? What were we even talking about that would even relate to the war? Russia? The Russia-Ukraine war? I don't know. Could be talking about that, I'm not entirely sure. W Nathan, as always. W Nathan. Hi all. Hello, Marty. Welcome in. Hope you have a good time during the show. Thank AOD. Oh, to Ank. Yeah, the sides and back are in need of a trim, and annoyingly, my sideburns have begun growing their own curls, so I need to see my barber. Absolutely. I'm not a big fan of sideburns, personally. I shave mine down, personally. I shaved earlier today. I know it's somewhat LARP for me to shave when I have almost no visible facial hair. It's just, it forms a shadow, it tickles, it has to go. So I shaved earlier today, got rid of the sideburns a little bit. I'm just not a fan, personally, of sideburns. I don't think I can pull it off. I really don't think I can. But no, fair play. Yeah, by the sounds of it, you need to see your barber. You need to see your barber, bro. By the sounds of it. Yeah, when your sideburns begin growing their own curls. I mean, mine used to do that back when before I was shaving. I'm flipped. My sideburns would kind of come down to here and will begin curling at the bottom. And at one point, the curl was at least this long. I believe at one point it was bad. It was. I looked so homeless. I was so chopped. Think about it. Before I started doing the show and everything like that, I was chopped. And then I did the show and I locked in. And now look at me. All I gotta say, becoming an online right-wing chud has actually saved me. Looks-wise, it saved me. Natural looks maxing just just be offensive online. All you need to do. All you need to do. The famous John Cleese "Don't mention the war the Germans" episode way before your time. Oh, okay. It's a reference. I have not watched much John Cleese Monty Python sketches personally. My dad is a huge fan, huge fan. So when I think I can't remember where it was. I think I was in Galway. I was I was I was just outside of Galway on the campsite. And I was just looking at my notifications. At the time, my notifications were popping off. Apparently, I was just dropping banger after banger. A lot of my posts got above 500 views. I mean, some of them got even 20,000 ish. Hundreds of likes, hundreds of reposts, hundreds of comments. I don't know what it was. I don't know. I think just the break just refreshed me, and I was just dropping banger after banger on X. But I was getting quite a few reactions and notifications, so I was just clearing out my notifications, and then I saw John Cleese reposted, and I was like, "Dad, Dad, you'll never guess who just reposted me. You'll never guess." He's a huge fan. He's a huge John Cleese fan. He used to watch him back in the day. Monty Python, huge Monty Python fan. So I had to show him. Had to let him know that the goat reposted me. Yeah, it's quite surreal actually when he did repost me. It was surreal. He's the goat. He is the goat. Be glad you have none. I have facial hair, but it comes back in a week. I can't wet shave due to acne. Yeah, Speaking of that, I broke out, and I don't know why. I don't know what the reasoning was, but at some point in Ireland, I broke out. I don't know. I couldn't take my face wash, so I had to make do with shampoo, and that's probably why. I don't know. I'm kind of chopped. I'm kind of chopped. Not to sound like a Floyd, but I'm kind of chopped. Chat, I'm kind of chopped. To avoid sounding like a Floyd, but I'm kind of chopped, chat. Oh, I can't stop cackling. What's your opinion on the Lib Dem compared to the other parties? They are just irrelevant. They are so irrelevant. They're like the Green. I mean, they're like what the Greens used to be. They're just so unfathomably irrelevant now. They're in no major form of political discussion. Ed Davey is a clown. He's a clown, and it annoys me every time I see his stupid, whimsical face on some kayak or some like water slide or whatever he's doing. He just pisses me off. I hate his whim. I hate how ridiculous he is. He is such a goober, and it pisses me off. But the Lib Dems are just, they can't, no one wants what the Lib Dems have to offer. Okay, no one wants, they literally can't appease to anyone. So they're just irrelevant. When you compare them with the other, I mean, at least the other parties have stuff going for them, in the sense that there is something at least of somewhat appeal, like reform. There's appeal, there's some form of widespread appeal for reform. Labour, the Conservatives, and the Greens, there is some at least form of pull factor to the party. With Reform, the pull factor would be the fact that they are the largest right wing party in the country at the moment. That's a big pull factor. To begin with, Farage himself was a pull factor, but he's kind of lost that. The Conservatives, their pull factor is just the fact that they are the Conservative Party. It doesn't matter who's in charge, they will always have some kind of at least big or wide support. I don't think the Conservatives will ever drop below 13% because there is just the pull factor of them being the Conservatives. They are just the Conservative Party. A lot of the older generation will vote Tory because they've always been Tory. A lot of people will vote Tory because there's the pull factor of some form of moderatism. I see these absolute centrist chuds popping up on my timeline talking about centrism and moderation and all of this bullshit. And that is some form of pull factor. People like that sense of normality, that sense of moderation. That is some form of pull factor. That the Conservative Party, in terms of its history, in terms of its entity, not what it's done. I'm not saying that, not what it's done, but it's seen as some form of stability. It's one of the oldest, if not the oldest, political party in history. It's always been there. It's an old, reliable. It's a safety net. It's a fallback. It's always you want to go experiment with reform for a bit. Oh, go back to Conservatives. Or you want to experiment, and then so on and so forth. The Conservatives have that kind of pull factor. They'll always be there. That's the pull factor. They'll always be there. So they will always contest an election. There'll always be a candidate in your constituency or in your ward or your council or whatever. That's their pull factor. Labour, their new pull factor is Andy Burnham, the whole sense of progressivism, left-wing populism. We're gonna, all this stuff. That pull factor, that sense of, and that they're not the Conservatives, and that they're not reform. It's this kind of, it's the pull factor for the left. They've managed under Burnham to consolidate the left. The Greens have the pull factor of that far left socialism, that whole radicalism when it comes to, yeah, we're gonna solve the environment crisis. We're gonna open up the borders. There's no borders. Borders aren't real. We're gonna make landowners pay, renters. And then all this bollocks. But that's a pull factor. That is surprisingly, for some voters, a pull factor. Because of the fact that that's not on offer anywhere else. This kind of radical socialism, this kind of, extremism on the left cannot be found anywhere else. At least not to as big of a party. I mean, of course, you can go find your party. You can go find some fringe communist party or whatever. There are parties to the left of the Greens, but there is no party to the left of the Greens that is as big as the Greens. There is no mainstream party that far left, that big. That's their pull factor. And their old pull factor was how pragmatic Zach Polanski was, which is now turned against them. Kind of like what with reform. It's really interesting. I mean, I saw an article that, it was ages ago now, a good month or so ago, maybe 3 months, talking about how Zach Polanski is the Nigel Farage of the left. And the more you get into it, the more it actually makes sense. He is this populist, he is this controversial figure, he is unapologetic, he's just advocating for what he wants to say, he speaks his mind and whatever. You disagree or agree or whatever, he's going to say his mind and not apologise. It's his position, he's there to state that kind of thing. He's this pragmatic guy, apparently, but now he's become so controversial, like Farage, and so unpopular, to the point that it's now a push factor. People don't want to support reform or the Greens because of their leadership, to the point now that the same people that advocate for Farage to come back as leader of reform now don't want him anymore because he's a push factor. He is no longer the messiah of the right. He is no longer this figure. He's no longer this light at the end of the tunnel. He is no longer the savior of reform and the right. They need someone new. Exact same thing with Polanski. He brought attention to the party. He drove the party upwards in the polls. Now that they're more established, people don't like him anymore. We're slipping. Get rid of him. It's that same mentality. So they're undergoing the same arc, so to speak, but Polanski is just happening to him so much faster. But that was the original pull factor, and at the same time, the Greens were offering something that Labour just wasn't. You don't have to be, you can be in between what Starmer's Labour and Polanski's Green was. That you're some progressive, democratic, socialist. Labour's not doing it for me anymore. Right, I'll go the Greens. Burnham comes into power, Labour shifts to the left, Labour's now in your range. You are now in the range of Labour, you leave. Which is reflected in polling. Labour has gone up, now leading, and the Greens are plummeting. I think they've fallen something like 3 or 4 points now in average polling since their peak, which wasn't even that long ago. But the point I'm trying to make, the Lib Dems just don't have that pull factor. What pull factor do they have? They have no appeasement. You want I don't know, you want social care reform, or Burnham wants that, go Labour. You want a moderate approach to immigration, go Conservatives, they have that. You want open borders, go Greens, they have that. What do the Lib Dems have to offer? And they don't have a charismatic leader. Parties do genuinely just how appealing, funny, charismatic the leader of the party is and seems. That is a pull factor. That is a major pull factor. You can have this amazing political party and it could, appeal to the majority of the electorate, and in theory it would win 54% of the vote, but their leader could be literally the most boring fart on planet Earth, and they will not see above 35%. They will not. I mean, okay, we'll be a bit more. They will not see above 40%. There's that range. I mean, Ed Davey is a massive factor in that. He's not got that charisma. He's not got that drive. He's not got that passion. He's not got anything going for him. There's nothing going for him. He's just this silly goof. And people don't want that. We're in the midst of a cost of living crisis, an immigration crisis. The economy isn't growing. The welfare budget is ballooning out of control. We're in a debt crisis, a fiscal crisis. We've got all the alarm bells are ringing, and this guy is in a kayak. This guy is doing, what's it called? I can't even remember what it's called. This guy's playing Gladiator. This guy's out here fighting people with foam sticks, I think. This guy's out here in a trampoline in a bouncy castle. He's just having fun. He's just like a kid on a soft play area. People don't want that. This is serious. Right now is serious. Yes, we want pragmatism. We want you to be funny. We want you to be engaging. We want to be able to engage. We don't want politics to be boring. That's the appeal. That's what people want. People want jokes amid the serious. People want funny amid the serious. You can't just bounce on a trampoline all day and expect to win. That's not going to happen. Ed Davey has literally nothing going for him, and neither the Lib Dems. So I don't know. That was a big rant. That was a big rant. Yeah, hope that answered your question. You haven't watched much Monty Python? Go watch Ministry of Silver. I mean, I've seen clips. I've seen Biggest Dick. That was my. I need to make sure. Biggest Dick is Monty Python, right? That clip is Monty Python. That clip's fun. I like that clip. That's funny. Your acne is not bad at all. My face is covered in scars from 9 years of cysts. I know, it's terrible. I mean, I used to be a lot worse for it. I've improved. It's not gone away, but it's come back a little bit. I don't know. I don't know how to deal with acne. I've just accidentally done it. So I wish I could recommend something. I just don't have any form of solution. I'm sorry. I'm not a racist. I'm a culturalist. I believe that some cultures are better than others. John Cleese, his own words. He is just the GOAT. He's just the GOAT. I don't care if he thinks that Jews assimilate better than Muslims. I disagree, okay? I disagree. I know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I disagree. But come on. To have a figure as big as John Cleese talking about what he's talking about, saying what he's saying, is huge. He doesn't have to get everything right. You don't have to agree with everything. He is pushing a lot of what this movement needs to push. This whole idea of culturalism, that this is our country, this is our culture. Countries belong to certain cultures, and certain cultures don't mix. So certain cultures really just don't mix. That is the big point to make. I've been trying to make this point for so long now. The biggest thing that we need to understand as a society is that some cultures don't mix. Some cultures don't mix. That is such an unfathomably important point to understand before you even begin to look at politics. Before you begin to try and think about, do I want to vote for reform or restore? Think about what cultures mix, what cultures don't, and just think about that. Okay, if you haven't really thought about this, if you're watching and you are I don't know, maybe you're a bit more of a centrist, or maybe you don't fully agree with the notion that certain cultures don't mix. Maybe you don't agree with ethno-nationalism. Maybe you don't agree with that line of thinking. But let me put this to you. Do you think that a migrant from Afghanistan, a 20-year-old male from Afghanistan who has only ever known Islam, only ever known the Quran, only ever known a third world Middle Eastern way of life, a third world way of treating and looking at women, a third world way of looking at civil liberties, of looking at life in general, them leading their lifestyle, do you think seriously they will be able to assimilate into our society? A society, a group of people that is taught fundamentally from the age of when they can begin to comprehend things. Do you think that someone like that, who is taught that Allah is above everything, Allah is the final God, Islam is the supreme religion, we are God's chosen people? Again, same thing with the Jews. That line of thing, you were taught that fanatically from a young age. Do you seriously think that culture can mix with ours? Seriously. Because if you do, you aren't right wing. Stop calling yourself right wing. Stop calling yourself a nationalist. Stop calling yourself a patriot. Because you aren't. You are not. You aren't. It's simple. If you cannot even grasp the idea that certain cultures don't mix, and that's not even to say that other cultures are worse or that we're superior or anything like that. It's just to say the simple and factual notion. We can see it. Britain is living proof. America is living proof. Most of the Western world is living proof that cultures just don't mix. Certain ones don't mix. Unless you are like minded, you are from the same kind of area. Those cultures just aren't going to mix because those people have grown up under different ideology, different religion, different lifestyle altogether, and they're going to suddenly come to ours, a complete shock to the system change to their culture, their lifestyle, their way of life that is fundamentally different to ours, the opposite. And you seriously think that those people can integrate? You seriously think that we can build some multicultural society with people who do not even think in the same world of logic as us? Seriously. Because if you can't get your head around that, you're just not a patriot. You're just not nationalistic. And stop LARPing. Stop LARPing if you can't grasp that, be quiet. Okay? Restore isn't for you. Everything for Britain isn't for you. This show isn't for you. I'm not for you. Because I believe that 100%. I will drive that home every day of the week. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. That wasn't even a question. I just ranted. Yeah, John's the go. John's the go. Views on Alex Jones and conspiracy. Alex Jones is so funny. That clip of him taking the piss out of Sneeko is so. Oh, that is so funny. When he started like chimping out, like screaming that what Arabic, whatever it was. That was so funny. I like him. I might not agree with everything he says. Yeah, he's just a funny guy. I like him. I like him personally. Um, those who march with us will certainly face abuse. In return, we can only offer the deep belief that they are fighting that. Okay, whole read. Those who march with us will certainly face abuse. In return, we can only offer the deep belief that they are fighting that a great land may live. Oswald Mosley. Say what you want about the guy. He said some accurate things. He said if we got involved in World War II, the empire would crumble. It did. And what he's saying there, that quote directly relates to a lot of what we're seeing today. Of course, those who march with us will face abuse. Those who support Rupert Lowe and Restore Britain are currently facing abuse. But in return for to face the onslaught, to face the assault, to face the labeling, you're a racist, you're anti-Semitic, you're xenophobic, you're a Nazi, you're a fascist, you're far right. The only thing we can offer you, patriot, in exchange for taking that flack, for taking that on the chin, is that you will build a better country. Go absolute cinema. Absolute cinema. All I have to say. Okay, it's been it's been 35 minutes of talk. I've been on a few decent rants. So we're going to be getting into tonight's topics. We're going to be getting it all into the story of the Restore Reform Pact. First of all, as our main story, getting your opinions on that from the live chat a little bit, and then we'll be going into the final topic or the end topic of the show, which is talking about the media meltdown with Alex Phillips absolutely crashing out on live TV about Rupert Lowe and Restore Britain. I have a few clips, well, I have one clip of Alex Phillips crashing out, which is a hard watch. It is, I know it is. We're here together to support one another through it. And then I have a few news articles talking about that as well. But to give you a little bit of context, for those who do not know this history about the Reform Restore Pact, Rupert Lowe basically laid out extended an olive branch to Nigel Farage, saying that, look, to put our differences, our past behind us, our grievances behind us, I am proposing that Restore Britain and Reform UK work together on certain policy issues to support one another and to basically not contradict. Don't split the right. Let's unite the right as two separate parties and lead forward. He had a few different a few different demands that would need to happen. One of the biggest sticking points was that any failed ex-Tory ministers directly, aimed at Robert Jenrick, Swilla Braverman, and that lot would not be able to be in a cabinet that Restore Britain supported. In response, Nigel Farage said, look, I'm not going to ditch my friends, but I'm open to talk. I'm open to talk about this. And then Lowe's basically came out and said that I'm not asking you to ditch them. I'm asking you the fact that they just can't be in the cabinet. They've failed in their past role, but they can't be in the cabinet now. But very recently, Charlie Downs has made certain comments, or at least something has arisen of Charlie Downs previously, suggesting that Nigel Farage has been bought out by Jews, to which the Telegraph and Talk TV ran away with. And then when this became a big sensation, Nigel Farage and Reform UK came out and said that they are rejecting the deal as long as Charlie Downs remains in Restore Britain, calling him an anti-Semite and all of the likes. And Rupert Lowe, in Rupert we trust. Rupert Lowe has came out in support of Charlie Downs and said that he will not be removed. I want to quickly, before we get into my initial thoughts on what this was supposed to be, and then talking about obviously how it's ended up, but I do think it's interesting, just the absolute level of hypocrisy from Farage. So Farage is saying that, whoa, you can't demand that I don't let my Tory the ex-failed ministers from the last Conservative government in the cabinet, I won't ditch my friends. However, your friend's an anti-Semite, ditch him. The absolute hypocrisy. I mean, where did that, out of left field, where did that come from? Just absolutely. I mean, then again, are we surprised that Farage is being hypocritical? Are we surprised that Farage is not being consistent, that he's not sticking to his word? Is anyone surprised about that? Not me. I personally always knew that the deal would end up being rejected anyway. I posted that almost immediately after the deal was made. Look, Reform aren't going to accept this. But we're going to be talking, to get into my initial thoughts. So what was running through my head when I first saw this? So of course I was at first not approving. I was like, whoa, we should not be working with Reform. They're grifters. They aren't real patriots. They're Israel first, pro-Jewish. They are all these things. They're pro-legal migration. They don't care about, demographic change and the replacement and any of that. We should not be working with these people. Then I started to think about it. I was like, well, actually, Reform wouldn't accept this deal. Of course, they would never accept this deal. Why are they even making this offer? Then it makes you think about what is one of the biggest criticisms from Reform's end towards Restore. That it's just an ego party. That it's just splitting the right. What are you doing? You're splitting the right. It's just Rupert Lowe's ego. But now, under this move that Nigel Farage would obviously reject, Lowe is saying, let's put that aside. Let's put egos and the past and our grievances and our personal turbulent relationship behind us and just unite the right. So Rupert Lowe has now put Farage on the back foot, or then put Farage on the back foot. There is no longer the main source of criticism for Restore, which was it's an ego party. You're splitting the right wing vote. Lowe's come out and said, let's do this. Let's put our egos behind us. Let's lock in and unite the right and save the country. So either Nigel Farage accepted the deal, which would give Restore Britain a hefty amount of influence over Reform's national policy and their next cabinet and their their LARPy shadow cabinet. And that's a bit of a downside for Reform. They can no longer criticise Restore. Members might start moving over to Restore because they're like, well, actually, now that if I go and vote for Restore, I'm not splitting the vote because they are working together. So that we would even probably see some voters switching from Reform to Restore under this deal, because Restore would be supplying their confidence in Parliament to Reform, supporting a Reform government. So you can't be splitting the right if the party you are voting for or switching to is supporting Reform. They're in the same block. They're part of the same team. So you can't really be splitting the right wing vote. So that would probably happen as well. So that would be very beneficial for Restore, or Farage rejects the deal. And then it no longer looks like Restore is splitting the right wing vote. It's just an ego, because now we have a very plain and simple response, which is Farage rejected the deal. Rupert Lowe offered to put all that aside. We're going to put our grievances behind us. We're going to unite the right for the good of the country. And Farage rejected. It's actually Farage who is splitting the right wing vote. It's actually Farage that is preventing a united right, not Rupert Lowe. It's Farage. So that whole argument is turned straight on its head. And we might actually see as well that a lot of Reform supporters, more towards the right, more nationalistic, more ethno-nationalistic in the party, would go, well, hang on a second. What's there to disagree with? Rupert Lowe is talking about how white Britons or the native British population cannot become a minority. What do we disagree with? Why are we rejecting this deal? Why are we not uniting the right? Fuck it. Let's go support Restore. Let's go join Restore. And then Reform looks like the bad guys. It's no longer Restore. So after, I think, about an hour or two of thinking about it, it just became an absolute masterstroke of political operation. It was, I don't know whether Lowe pulled that banger out, someone in his team, or just the entire head of Restore Britain, that whole top team, went and cooked up this devilish idea. But whoever it was might be the GOAT, because this is a masterstroke of political genius. It's a win-win for Restore. Either we get big influence over Reform and their next government and the next government, we unite the right to keep the left out, and we pull Reform to the right, and some Reform members might move over to us because there's no longer that idea of splitting the right because it's united now. Or they reject and we look like the good guys. It's no longer Restore that is keeping the right splintered. So I thought this was a good idea. In the end, I mean, I knew I don't personally want to work with Reform. If it was genuinely out of the kindness of Rupert Lowe's heart, he wants to see Reform do well, then I would be against the move, because I don't like Reform. I'm very anti-Reform. I don't like their leadership. I don't like how soft their policies are. I don't like how pro-Israel they are. I don't like how weak they are on the Islamification of Britain, on the demographic replacement, and this whole idea that ethno-nationalism is far right, or just this whole like bragging from Farage of defeating the far right, of beating the BNP. I'm the saviour of the country. I've defeated the far right. All of this shit. I don't like Reform or anything like that. But because of what it actually means. When you look into it, it's a win-win masterstroke, so I supported the idea. But it has now turned out in the end that the deal has, like I said it would, been rejected. But it's been rejected under some pretty weird grounds. I mean, at first it was rumoured that it would be rejected under Restore's policy of them wanting to ban kosher slaughter, which I said was really peculiar, because halal, or not, kosher slaughter is very similar in fashion in terms of being anti-British and being a horrific way to kill an animal than to halal slaughter. And Reform is opposed to halal slaughter. So that it was begging the question in my mind that, well, these people clearly are not nationalists. They are not Britain first. They are so bought out by Jews that they will flat out refuse to unite the right because Restore Britain want to ban kosher slaughter. But then this turned out to not be the official reasoning. It was a bit more of a rumour. I think it was more certain members and high up figures in Reform didn't want to do this because of the kosher slaughter thing. They didn't want to accept the deal because of Restore's stance on kosher slaughter. But then in the end, it turned out to be Charlie Downs and his comments about Nigel Farage, which again is tarnished with hypocrisy in itself. So, to give you a bit of context, so Farage announced, or basically said, a little while ago, I cannot be bought out. Charlie Downs, at cinema, Charlie Downs responded to that with an image of Nigel Farage in front of, launching the Reform Jewish Alliance, implying that Farage had in fact been bought out, but by the Jews, not by any company, any sector, any industry, but by Jews. Now, Farage came out and Reform came out and said, this is vile anti-Semitism, we cannot accept this at all, we will not be working with Restore. So the deal has collapsed because of Reform's inability to apparently turn down Jewish donor money. Well, do you want to know what I just punched my mic. Do you want to know what the biggest, weirdest thing about what Farage said? So, Charlie Downs has implied, very strongly implied, that Nigel Farage has been bought by Jews. So this, and Farage saying that that's anti-Semitic, suggests the fact that, well, if you think that the Jews interfere in elections to get their way, you are anti-Semitic. However, we have a clip. We have a little bit of a clip coming in from Farage himself. Just give this a watch. So again, under the idea that Nigel Farage believes that if you suggest or say outright that the Jews influence directly or buy or whatever elections and interfere in elections and buy out politicians in elections, that is anti-Semitic. Thinking that the Jews have any form of influence in politics is anti-Semitic. Bear that in mind. Farage said that. Bear that in mind. You can't even hear it. How? You can't even hear it. And you can't even hear it. Hold on. You can see it though. You can see it. You can't hear it though. Can you hear this? You can't hear that. Oh my! That was. It was gonna be cinema if that worked. It's not worked. Why is that not recording audio? Why is that not? Does anyone in chat know how to use Does anyone in chat know how to use OBS? You know it's a professional stream when you can't hear the video. It's so bad. It's so. For this whole segment to be anything, this needs to be played. You need to be able to hear this. Why is that not? I can't even figure out where that would even. Okay, so basically, in that clip, Nigel. Hang on, let me pull it up on my phone and we can play the audio. Okay, we can at least listen to the audio. Let's get that up. This is so professional. Sorry everyone. So this is something that Nigel Farage has said. Okay, this is Nigel Farage.
America's interfered in elections all over the world for decades. There's a slight sort of degree of hypocrisy about all of this. Ahmed, new caller from Leighton, I thank you. He makes the point that there are other very powerful foreign lobbies in the United States of America, and the Jewish lobby, with its links with the Israeli government, is one of those.
So he's directly talking about election interference in the United States because of, and to name the groups, the Jewish and Israeli linked lobby. So Nigel Farage, in typical Farage fashion, has said something and then completely decided to move away from it or disavow it entirely. Typical Farage. Typical Farage. That is bad that I couldn't get it to play actually on the computer. That is... because we have another clip to go through as well. But oh well. Okay, we roll with it. We roll with it. Who cares? I need to bookmark that other clip I was gonna of Alex Phillips. But yeah, it's just typical Farage fashion of going back on something that he's said, disavowing something that he has said in the past, making a point he's made in the past, and all of this. And as well, very interestingly, so the timeline in between Farage saying that there is a lot of foreign interference in American elections, and the strongest groups that do that is the Jewish lobby in the government that is linked to the Israeli government. In between him saying that and calling Charlie Downs anti-Semitic for implying that Farage had been bought out by Jews, in between that he's openly admitted multiple times to taking some pretty big donations from either A, Jews, or B, Jewish organizations. So what does that tell you? To re-flesh out the timeline, point A, Farage says that the American elections and political system is being influenced by Jews. He says that he's getting a large amount of donations and a large sum of money from Jews and Jewish organizations linked to, not linked to Israel, that's the previous point, but just getting a lot of money from Jews, to then saying that it's anti-Semitic to say he's been bought out by Jews. Hang on. I smell some bullshit going on. Call me crazy. Call me an anti-Semite, but I think Farage may have been bought out by Jews. Call me crazy. Hey. Call me crazy. It's just ridiculous. I need to refill my water. Just the level of hypocrisy. So, I mean, I said after that was... after Farage said what he said and after that clip was released, it's just Reform are not a serious nationalist party. Reform are not the solution to any of our problems. Reform will not do what's right. Reform will not put Britain back on track. Reform doesn't care. Reform is occupied and bought by the Jewish Israeli lobby in our political system. They are not British first. They are not Britain first. They will never be. They are Jewish and Israel first. That is the honest truth. There's no other way of putting it. There's no other way. Looking at that timeline, looking at those events, seeing just how much, I mean, 1 million shekels changed this man. 6 million shekels changed this man. Honestly, money will change you. Money will change you. It's ridiculous. That I don't know how you can genuinely look at that timeline, genuinely look at what Farage is saying, how you can look at any of that and go, yeah, he's what we need. Yeah, this is what the UK needs right now. It's ridiculous. It's all LARP. Anyone that is, if you are still seriously supporting reform properly, full-time supporting reform, and you claim to be a nationalist, you claim to be a patriot, and you are actually supporting reform, you are LARPing as a nationalist. That's just the honest truth. But I don't know. I think it's honestly it's a blessing that Reform did reject this deal. It's just highlighted so much how occupied they are, and as well, Restore has hit 150,000 members. I believe that was announced after the deal with after Farage rejected the deal. So it's onwards and upwards. We will win. We will get influence. We will destroy Reform. We will win. We will restore Britain. But that's all I really have to say on that. I think I covered everything I wanted to. Unfortunately, couldn't play the clip like I wanted to. I built it up as well. I built up playing the clip, and there was no audio, and I just lost it. I lost all aura, all respect, everything, all down the drain immediately. But anyways, we will be getting into the live chat and what you guys think. Restore Thatcherism, reform Blairism. There is no political solution. Are you an idiot? Quick question. Just answer honestly if you want. Are you an idiot? Restore Thatcherism. How so? How so? Just shut up. Reform Blairism is correct. There's no political solution. Then do what? What do you propose, genius? What is your idea? What do you want? What do you want to do? Do you want to march on London and take over the government, and then we'll just go from there? Yeah, go do that. Let me know. Let me know how that works out for you. Genuinely, let me know, because it's you just so okay. There is you have to be below the level of average IQ for a 13-year-old to genuinely sit there and go, there's no political solution. What else is there to do? Storm Parliament? Coup the government? Take over? Launch a civil war? Shut up. Shut up, man. Just be a normal person. Just be a normal, intelligent human. Be like they don't even have to be intelligent. Have lukewarm IQ, and you will be able to figure out that there is nothing else to do besides politics. How do you think stuff gets done? Genuine, what rattles around in that bowling ball of a head you've got on those shoulders? What's going on? You ever look at a person and wonder what's going on inside their head? Nothing. Genuinely nothing. There's no political solution. Then do what? The Tories died when that chump Johnny Major took over. And the Conservatives died a lot longer before that, to be honest. When Enoch Powell was not immediately made Prime Minister of the world, they failed. Elon Musk nailed it, described Ed Davies as a snivelling cretin. True, he is a cretin. True. Oh, I'm reading outdated live chat messages. I was 8. I was on 8 courses of antibiotics. I've used salicylic. I'm such an idiot. Salicylic. I'm an idiot anyway. But at this point, I'm waiting for the acne killer. Yeah, I don't know. I really can't advise on anything in terms of acne or to get rid of it. Because I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really dealt with my own, and when it did get better, I couldn't figure out what I'd done. So I really can't advise. But I hope it works out for you anyway. Which, by the way, my hospital appointment today was shit. Some foreign doctor who doesn't know my disease refused to prescribe my medication or pain management. So I'm really pissed off with the NHS right now. Yeah, I mean, I was in Ireland at the time. I'm getting on to you again, don't worry. But I was in Ireland when that Sky News report came out that a lot of NHS patients are requesting white British doctors in some shocking rise in racism. But this is why we do it. Some foreign doctor who has a thick accent that you can't understand probably can't even completely understand you, would not prescribe you anything because he doesn't know your disease. I had a similar thing. You can probably tell, but I have a deviated septum, so my breathing can be quite bad sometimes. But so I was getting it checked out initially because I was having trouble breathing at certain points. I was doing the same amount of exercise as I was before, and not as well because breathing and stuff, my chest was hurting. So I got checked out a bunch of times, a lot by foreign doctors, telling me that I had pigeon chest or whatever, when in reality I really didn't. I did a little bit, it's gone away now, but it wasn't. I mean, this was a few years back, and it's gone away now, but it wasn't even that bad. They were telling me that my chest, my rib cage, was squishing my lungs, and that was the problem. But then, we went to this random doctor this one time and looked at me and went, "You have a deviated septum. Use this." I used it, right as rain. So I don't know. The NHS, it would just. I mean, all this argument of we need the immigrants for doctors. They can't understand. They can't understand us. Do you get this? Can you grasp this line of thinking? English is not their first language. I can't understand their accent. They can't understand the language I'm speaking entirely, and they are misdiagnosing me. I want someone who is qualified and can speak English. Please, what has a guy got to do to get an English doctor in England? Please. Someone point me to the room, point me to the doctor's office of a native, please. I'd love to know where Dr. Smith is. Is Dr. Smith in the house? In a hospital full of Dr. Abduls and Ahmeds. I just want to see Dr. Smith. Just, hi, receptionist. Point me to the nearest white. Point me to the nearest white guy. That's Daily Mail. Don't cancel me. That is okay. But no. I mean, I'm joking, but it is also kind of serious because people are actually being misdiagnosed. I mean, I'm kind of joking. But at the same time, people are genuinely being misdiagnosed. They can't understand their doctors can't understand them. And it's getting to the point now where people are like, hey, genuinely, point me to the nearest white guy. Point me to the nearest white doctor, if you may. Please, receptionist, fetch me Dr. Smith. I talked to him on the phone. Please get him for me. And you're called a racist for that because you don't want to get misdiagnosed. Well, actually, I want to be able to talk to my doctor and him understand me and me understand him, and for him to have a decent grasp of medicine, of medicinal practice, of what it is to be a doctor. But it's gone mad. It's all gone mad. What do you mean the pact collapsed? It didn't exist in the first place? Well, there was at one point where it was starting to look a bit likely. The likes of David Bull and that lot were saying we should form the pact with Restore. There was one point where it was looking a bit likely, I guess. If you're looking at it outside and not analysing the shit out of it, it might have looked like at some point, and then it fell apart literally within a day. That's kind of what I mean by that. Do you support the establishment of a British Parliament like Wales or Scotland? No. I want the opposite. I want the Scottish, Welsh, and Northern Irish governments and parliaments dissolved. I want there to be one parliament. Well, parliament is two things. I want there to be one House of Commons, one House of Lords, one Prime Minister, one leader, one legislative body that governs the whole of the UK. The whole of the UK. There shouldn't be these separate parliaments. That's not. No. We don't make the situation worse by establishing an English one. No. If you establish a Welsh, Scottish, Northern Irish, and English parliament, 4 years time, the union will go. It will collapse. There is no unity, no nothing. The union will collapse. One House of Commons, one House of Lords, one body of government, one leader. That's it. Dissolve the Holyrood, dissolve the Senedd, dissolve the Northern Irish Assembly. The problem, it doesn't matter what government runs the country. It doesn't matter what government runs the country. We just need a government that has common sense and doesn't want to borrow too much money and tries to live within its means. So it does matter who runs the country. It doesn't matter what government runs the country. It just matters that that government has common sense and doesn't want to borrow money. So it does matter? Okay. Okay. So it does matter what government runs the country because you want a certain thing. I'm not criticizing you or anything, but the whole, I mean, what you've just said, you said it doesn't matter who runs the country, then given a preference of what you want the government to look like. Doesn't matter what government's in, just matters that that government is common sense. Not every government is common sense, doesn't want to borrow loads of money and tries to live within its own means. That is not every government, so it does matter. It does matter. Hi Thomas, I hope you and your family are well. Thank you for your awesome work. Keep up the fantastic work. Hey, thank you. Yeah, thank you. I really do. I really appreciate that. Yes, me and my family doing well. I hope you and your family are doing well as well. Thomas, I have a question for you. Who would you rather work with, the Tories who would you? I'm guessing that means who would you rather work with out of the Tories or Reform? I mean, the answer would be Reform. Both parties are pro-Israel, pro-Jewish, occupied, got those donor groups. I guess Reform is slightly more to the right than the Conservatives in terms of what's on paper policy. Whether you actually believe that or not is a different matter. But in terms of, I mean, that is, which one would you rather eat? This pile of shit here that stinks really bad, or this slightly less stinky pile of shit? I mean, I would go with the less stinky pile, to be honest. Personally. People talking about how the clip won't play or wouldn't play audio. What is your say on the rise of economic might of India and it telling the US that it does not care and it will buy Russian oil if it's in their own interest? A lot of that is because of their massive population. Of course, the Indian economy isn't actually that great in the sense that everyone in India is still pretty much dirt poor. The GDP per capita, I believe, is really bad. Everyone is living in absolute squalor. People are having the worst time. There is disease. The infrastructure is terrible. So, I mean, their economy is so big because they have the second biggest population on the world. They're a resource-rich nation, and they have a large. You don't have to have a rich consumer base. You have to worry so much about having a rich domestic market, just a big one. When it comes to that, the bigger the market, the more people the more people who are likely to buy in to your economy, who are willing to spend. But that's in general, the bigger your population, the more people spending, the more currency in circulation, the more money that is being made, all of that. What is needed for an economy to at least basically function and grow can happen very easily in a much larger population. Doesn't matter whether it's poorer than on average. I mean, the average British citizen is richer than the average Indian citizen, but there is more circulation of currency and cash of a flow of goods and capital in the Indian market than in Britain because there is just simply more people. That is just so. I don't think the rise of India's economic might is much of anything to do with the fact that they're actually all living in palaces and that actually every Indian is rich and that actually it's a great country to live in and the economy is booming. It's just this very, very simple fact that there's just a lot of people there, a lot of money's being spent because of the sheer volume of people, so the economy is growing, and at the same time, India has a lot of cheap domestic labor that it can use to make cheaper, well, not as cheap as China, but produce and extract resources and produce products at a cheap rate than other people to sell to the international market at a more competitive rate. So Indian businesses can make a larger margin of profit than businesses in the UK can. Their employment laws, their payment laws aren't as strict as over here, and as well, the average Indian, their wages are lower. The amount they're paid for their services is lower. So it is cheaper to make products, or to make things, and to extract things that people want to buy. So you can do it. Your costs are down. You can sell it slightly below market value, but still make a pretty good margin of profit. And you can actually sell a larger quantity because there's more appeal for cheaper products. That's why China's doing so well. That is probably another big drive behind India, but again, that's nothing to do with policy or just genuine, good, healthy economics. That's just the fact that the Indian population is dirt poor and it's just massive. But in terms of when you say acting within their own interests, buying Russian oil, I can get behind that. Act within national interest. But for me, acting within national interest for energy security is not buying it from Russia, it's investing and making it at home. Extracting oil at home, extracting and burning coal at home, renewable energy at home in a sensible non-net zero way, tidal, solar, nuclear, SMR, all that make a self-sufficient energy economy, in my opinion. That's the way I look at it anyway, but I hope that answers your question. Where did I go up to? Where did I get up to? Actually, I'm just completely missed. Oh, here we go. Nigel the Turd Sandwich and Rupert Lowe is the full bulldog we need. And then that. Oh, I forgot to mention. Do we like the hat? I know I mentioned it in a post. What do we think? What do we think of the hat? Guinness with the Guinness symbol. There were some other hats. Had Irish symbolism and Ireland on it, which I thought wouldn't be representative of the show. So we've got a Guinness hat, which is, we love Guinness. We love Ireland, to be fair. Ireland was a great place. I really enjoyed myself. But yeah, Ireland. We love Ireland. But, oh, I've missed this hat. Oh, I've missed this hat. The Restore and Reform Israel Pact was never going to. Restore isn't pro-Israel, you idiot. Okay, yes, there are some members of Restore who are pro-Israel. There are some members who are somewhat high up who are pro-Israel. The actual leadership is not. The actual policy is not. Quit LARPing. Quit LARP. Who do you suggest? What LARP party do you support? Homeland? The NRP? Restore Britain supports Israel. Who are you suggesting then, genius? Who are you Yes, of course, the party whose leadership, the de facto co-leadership is literally being accused of anti-Semitism because he is talking about how the Jews control part of the UK political system, how we need to ignore all foreign influence. The party that refuses to disavow Steve Laws, who wants to deport every single Jew from Britain. Rupert Lowe's refused to disavow him, refused to disavow Downs' comments, and Lowe is just distinctly not pro-Israel. He said we should not be getting involved in Israeli wars. This is Britain. We're Britain first. Who are you? Who are you? The Restore and Reform Israel Pact was never going to happen. Yeah, genius. More buzzwords. Give me something else. Give me something else. What's next? It's just genuine LARP. Genuine LARP. It's just anything that people don't like of some of these people. It's just literally everything. It's just, well, how can we criticize Restore? They're pro-Israel. They're just not, though. Get your facts right. Reform is. Okay, Reform is distinctly pro-Israel. I've listed out my reasoning why I think that hundreds of times at this point. and I've stated loads of times how Restore is not. What are you talking about? You don't know. Take a break. Maybe this isn't for you, boss. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the show's too highbrow. Maybe politics is too highbrow. Maybe do something else. Maybe, I don't know, buy a colouring book or something. Buy a picture book and get stuck in that for a bit. That seems a bit more your speed. Oh. I meant reform Israel, not restore Israel. I don't know. I think there's been a bit of, I don't know. Okay. Apparently, apparently that guy that I've just spent, I don't know how long, just rant for nothing. Literally rant for nothing. Never mind, maybe the show is for you. Maybe the show is for you. Yeah, no, keep watching. This is, no, don't take a break. Close the pic. I know I said close that picture book. Put down the crayon. Tune straight back in. Patriot, tune straight back in. The rant was funny though. Cameron, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, that is going straight in the edit though. That is see you Sunday. Hey, see you Sunday. That is going straight in the edit. Oh, I'm such a chud. How can anyone today vote Labour is insane to me? These people seriously see the state of the country today and go, yep, more of that, please. Well, because there's just this LARP on the left of like, there was this, I remember this rant. It was a pretty funny one by me, I thought. I quite enjoyed it. It was like this guy in chat was saying like, oh, the rich are the real enemy. You don't unite against immigrants, unite against the rich. And I went, yeah, well, the rich aren't doing this. How about we, we don't support that bollocks. Maybe we should unite against immigrants, which was a joke. I'm not encouraging that we gang up on anyone. Daily Mail, police, prevent anyone watching this. Joke. Please, I cannot stress that enough. Do not show up at my door again, please, please. But no, it's like people will choose other means. People will look at what's going on with immigrants, go, well, actually, have you heard of this thing called the bourgeoisie? Have you heard of this thing called the super rich? They just demonize rich people. Well, the rich actually want you to be united against immigrants to keep their dodgy taxes on the down low. Well, actually, rich people want to unite you against an immigrant just because of a different skin color. Hey, the rich are trying to start a race war because they are, like, rich or whatever. Shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? Holy LARP. What are you talking about? The super rich actually want to divide you against brown people because they pay less than you in taxes. Shut up. Shut up. But yeah, I think that's a big reason why. It's because that whole idea of, well, actually, it's not immigrants, it's the rich. There's just something else that they want to pivot against, and it's just not accurate. So I think that's a big reason why. I don't know. It's okay, Tom, work in progress, analysis off the charts. Yeah, I need to fix that. I need to fix being able to play the audio. I swear it used to work. I genuinely swear it used to work. Honestly, because I've planned a few videos or shows in the past where it's purely reaction. It's purely just me watching something and reacting. Like I had this plan that on the live show I was gonna watch a reform announcement and just react to it live. Glad I didn't decide to do that. And other things like that, because it just wouldn't have worked and I would have had nothing prepared. But I guess lucky today that I actually had something to talk about, and the clip was just a little thing. I could still play it via audio. I've got another clip in a bit, which I guess isn't entirely. I want to play the crash out because I had to suffer through it. We're going to suffer through it together and be each other's support mechanisms, because Alex Phillips is just the most annoying woman on planet Earth. So I don't know. Well, yeah, but we'll fix that. I'll make sure that's fixed for the future. And analysis off the charts. Thank you, David W. Go in the chat. Can we get W. David in the chat? We may as well call the NHS the FHS, Foreign Health Service, at this point. True. You're better off learning to become a doctor at this point. Genuinely, you'd get such a better service if you went to uni and you went through all of that and you could just you could do it yourself on yourself. It would be a better service, and when something happens, of course, it's not going to be a faster service in the sense that you have to go through medical school for like 4 years and then train and all of that. But if you are a doctor and then something happens to you, you can do it, and it's quicker than the NHS. It's genuinely just beyond comprehension just how much of a state we are in. If there was one field you must have meritocracy or communication skills, English, it's medicine. But DEI is more important, apparently, evil society we live in. True. More important is our virtue signaling, multiculturalism, and all of that than, actually getting a good service. Like, I don't know if you watched the video where I published last Tuesday talking about trading innovation for immigration, and I was talking about how everything good we have going, standard of living, academic achievement, scientific achievement, all of that is being traded away for immigrants. It's being actively torn away against our will, and that's just the truth. Just the truth. I was supposed to start isotretinoin, I believe. Isotretinoin. I was supposed to start isotretinoin to help treat my disease and cure my acne, which would allow me to walk again, to get a job, some level of independence. I want to live. My life is frozen right now. I am thoughts and prayers. Genuinely, thoughts and prayers for Ank in the chat, in the comments if you're watching this, the VOD, or if you're watching the video if this goes in. I'm not entirely sure. But let's get thoughts and prayers for Ank. If we're praying this evening or tomorrow morning, or you're going to church soon, or whenever your next prayer is, can we please get Ank in our thoughts during our next prayer? That would be great. Genuinely, thoughts and prayers. I hope everything improves for you soon, man. It sounds, not being able to work or walk or get up or anything, it just sounds terrible. So I'm wishing all the best. All the best for you, Ank. Ank. Regardless of all of that, still turns up for the show. We have an absolute patriot in our ranks. This is why he's the GOAT. This is why Ank's the GOAT. This is GOAT material right here. Just the truth. The UK should take back Ireland also. I would like for Ireland to join the Union, of course. If it was the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland again, we had the Union, England, Wales, Scotland, and Ireland. I would like that. I would like that. But of course, if they don't want it, they don't want it. I have a great deal of respect for Ireland. I've been in Ireland for the past week. I really like the country. I really do. It's my favorite foreign country that I've been to. Well, it's my favorite country outside of Britain, basically. I've never enjoyed a country as much as Ireland. It's just so similar to home. The people are great. Everything's great. So I would, if the Irish don't want to join the Union willingly, then we should definitely form some kind of cooperation with them, because they're just great people. Of course, as long as it's beneficial to us as well. Mutually beneficial. Do you think we should move closer to the Commonwealth or the EU again? The Commonwealth, 100%. Fuck the EU. Get it gone. Nor on activation. When you said EU again, I just like something flicked on, and it just yeah. Commonwealth, 100%. Some form of Kanzuk needs to happen. Some form of economic union with Kanzuk needs to happen. Absolutely. Kanzuk shall be formed. Absolutely. Absolutely. How do you feel about making England's navy the best in the world again? is a strong military worthwhile? Excuse me, 100%, 100%. I mean, the people who say, "Oh, we don't need a military. Who's going to invade us? Where do we need a military for?" Anyone. Literally, I mean, you go back 100 years. Okay, you go back 90 years. Yeah, go back 90 years. Germany was an existential threat to Britain. Now it's one of our biggest allies. The way things move can change so fast. 2005, Russia was reapproaching the West. Russia was becoming an ally to the West. You know, Obama met with Medvedev. That was after 2005. You know, Obama met with Medvedev. Putin was meeting the European leaders, singing to them, putting on this whole show. This was literally 20 years ago. I mean, you could even go as far as 10 years ago. No, 15 years ago, Russia was an ally to the West, Russia, all of this. Now Russia is the biggest existential threat that there could ever be. Everything is changing all the time. We absolutely need a military, a strong military. Again, we need to get that back. If we can't defend ourselves in the current state, and everything's changing all the time, everything's changing all the time, we need to be ready for literally anything, because anything can happen. It's just that simple, genuinely that simple. This is an old quote: if you fail to prepare, then prepare to fail. It's preemptive. Everything when it comes to security, preparation, or anything when it comes to importance, you have to over prepare to ensure that you are safe, to ensure that you succeed. Over prepare, overestimate, overshoot. Always. Doesn't matter. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Forever and always. When it comes to national security, it's not a joke. We absolutely need to prepare. Always. Always. Cool hat, though I'm not a drinker. I'm a bit of a drinker myself. I mean, I'm not. I don't know. I like a drink. I'm not, like an avid, massive drinker. But I like a drink. I loved Guinness. Really liked Guinness. Really liked Guinness. It was great. I loved Guinness. Hence why I bought that hat. I'm obsessed with Guinness. We're all Guinness patriots now. Everyone in the chat, put your left hand up and swear that you love Guinness, because we're all Guinness patriots now. Yeah, now getting onto the rant for nothing. Big rant all for nothing. The rant was funny. Hey, at least the person that I attacked thought the rant was 10 out of 10. Hey, can we get a W in Cameron? Again, my apologies, Cameron. My apologies. Yeah, I didn't mean to call you an idiot and to say it and to tell you to go read a picture book. But, we amend. Mistakes can be made. We make amends. We make amends and we move forward. Do you think the deep state exists? I don't know if the deep state exists, or whether I believe in the deep state. I believe in the idea of an establishment. I believe in the idea of a uniparty. I believe in this idea of, the media. At least, I mean, Reform were definitely controlled opposition. Seeing how more right-wing news outlets like Talk TV, GB News, The Telegraph respond to Reform and then respond to Restore. I do think you can definitely see a massive difference where these more right-wing news outlets were pro-Reform but are now very anti-Restore, which begs the question of, well, actually, was Reform ever even real? Was Reform actually ever even anything? The answer is no. So I believe in the idea of an establishment. I believe that certain people and certain groups of people want to keep that establishment in charge. They want to keep... Because you got to think, I mean, for Lord knows how long, 50, 60 years, the electorate has constantly delivered mandates to parties that would deliver lower immigration, that would deport people, that would, get immigration down and get security back on track. And every time those elected governments have not delivered because it's not what the establishment wants to do. What they might promise you these things, but they'll never do it. It's not in their system. They can't do it. That's not what the establishment will give you. It will feed you what you want to keep you happy, then not deliver. Reform was that. When sentiment started to grow, anti-immigration sentiment started to grow, they gave you reform. Go ahead. Vote your hearts out for reform. They're not going to do anything, so vote your hearts out for them. And I was beginning to realise that we're moving on to restore, and now the establishment's actually having a panic attack because they have no control. They have no form of control over restore. They have no way of regulating it. It's an unregulated, genuine, real party. It's a serious threat to the balance of power that we've seen in this country for hundreds of years, and it's going. So I don't know if I believe in a deep state per se, but that's more so what I think. Opinion of Nick Fuentes and the America First movement could see a wider coalition across Western nations for restoration. I like Nick. I do watch his content every now and then. I wouldn't say I'm a fan. I'm not like a super fan. I don't watch his stuff all the time. But yeah, I like Nick. I do like Nick. I think he's very thought-provoking. I think he promotes a lot of what needs to be promoted, and he's a funny guy, which I think is the mix you need to do. That's what I try and go for, in the sense of actually promoting serious ideas and thoughts and trying to at least push some kind of change. But you don't have to be boring while doing it. You can be funny. You can be fun while doing it. So no, I like him. I have a lot of respect for. He's been through a lot. I have a lot of respect for Nick. Yeah, he's done a lot for red pilling. A lot of the youth, a lot of the generations now. So absolutely huge respect to Nick. I like the idea of America First. That whole ideology of your country first, I like. So my opinion, I like him. I like Nick. I like America First. Okay, we can probably move on now to the second topic. It is 9:30, and we still need to talk about our second topic, which is the absolute media meltdown over Restore Britain, Charlie Downs, and what has been happening recently. So I have two news articles up. We're going to be talking a little bit about what's been going on lately. I'm then going to pull up the clip that I was talking about. Actually, while I'm introducing this whole segment, I'm actually going to put it up on my phone. I'm not scrolling or anything. I'm not ignoring the show, don't worry. But we're going to be talking all about that now. So if you haven't seen, the Telegraph have posted news article after news, hit piece after hit piece. Rupert Lowe doesn't think the king is white British. Rupert Lowe, here's the figures that Rupert Lowe does not think a white British. Harry Kane, Winston Churchill. Rupert Lowe is anti-Semitic. I mean, even Talk TV likened Rupert Lowe to Adolf Hitler, which is just the biggest stretch of the century. I don't know. So we're going to be talking all about that. So, of course, I'm sure you've been keeping up to date on X or if you follow me on X, you'll see a lot of what I've been saying. There's been an absolute media meltdown, which kind of does spell out to me, like I was saying earlier, that Restore is the real deal. The same people who are putting Farage on, talking positively about Farage, Alex Phillips as an example, massive Farage fan, is very anti-Lowe. But why? Surely they can't disagree on that much. But it's obviously because Farage is within the circulation of the establishment and Lowe isn't. And that's the appeal with Lowe. That's the appeal with Restore. We aren't part of the establishment. We aren't part of the Uniparty. We aren't controlled opposition. We are genuine. We are real. We are going to do what we're saying we're going to do. We are going to deport millions of people, and we are going to restore Britain. And they hate that. They hate that idea. But one of the biggest things that the media have, well, crashed out about is actually Charlie Downs' comments about Farage, how he's being bought out by Jews. So both topics tonight are talking about kind of the same thing, but it's a big story. Both are separate. So we're going to be talking about the first headline, well, not headline, but the first article that I have here from The Guardian. It's titled the Is King Charles a White Briton? Restore Britain leader Rupert Lowe won't say. So, Lowe questioned on BBC about definition in report for hard right party that both parents need to be born in the UK. So, Rupert Lowe, the leader of Restore Britain, refused to say if he believes King Charles can be classified as a white Briton in an extraordinary interview on BBC's Today programme, questioning Lowe, the MP for Great Yarmouth, over his claims that white Britons will become a minority by 2063. The presenter, Nick Robinson, noted that the forecast Lowe referred to defined a white Briton as someone whose parents were both born in the UK. With the king's late father, Prince Philip, having been born on the Greek island of Corfu, Robinson asked Lowe, "Are you aware that by the definitions used in that particular report, King Charles is not a white Briton? Do you think he is a white Briton?" Declining to address the question, Lowe responded, "Well, many people have different interpretations of that, Nick. I mean, we can split hairs." Robinson interjected, "We're not splitting hairs. Do you think the monarch of this country is a white Briton?" Lowe said the experience of what we're talking about is quite clear, and I think most British people, if you speak to them, would agree. Accused of ignoring the question, he continued, "It is a fact that by 2063, white British people will be a minority on current trends. I don't think anyone disputes that." As Lowe continued to decline to give a direct answer, Robinson said, "So, because Prince Philip was born in Greece, King Charles is not, under your definition, treated..." Why did the article just change? What? This needs to end now. Things need to genuinely stop resetting while I'm reading them. The chat will reset while I'm reading it. This article just jumped while I'm still reading it. It has to be because of Israel. It has to be because of Israel. I can see no other reason for why this article would do that, besides the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu is currently in the live chat. He's currently watching the show, and he's just reset the article. There is no other reason. There is no other explanation. Any other explanation will be completely rejected by me. It's concrete now. It's concrete who is behind all of this. But you get the gist. So the Daily Mail, well, not the Daily Mail, so the Guardian very heavily going in on Rupert Lowe, talking about, well, actually, do you think the monarch is white British? Lowe didn't actually give his own opinion, which, come on, we know by his definition, Lowe is saying by his definition that the king is not white British, which I agree with. The royal family has a lot of mixed ancestry within it. I mean, a lot of German, very little bit of actual British. There's some Greek in there because of Philip, and there's a few other things mixed in there as well. So no, King Charles is not a white Briton. But of course, Lowe didn't actually say this, but by his own definitions that he did give, we can interpret that Lowe does not think that the King of the UK, the King of England, is a white Briton, which is true. Genetically, biologically, ethnically is true. But now they've ran away with this. They've ran away with something that Lowe has not actually even said himself. At no point, as Rupert Lowe said, King Charles III is not a white Briton. But the headlines, I mean, multiple news outlets are covering this. I've just gone onto The Guardian because that's the first one that came up. But a lot of news outlets are now running with the story. Rupert Lowe, leader of Restore Britain, doesn't even think that King Charles is a white Briton. Can you believe that? The British king, the King of Britain, he doesn't even think is a white Briton. How ridiculous is that? Come on. Who is this guy? Am I right? Who even is this guy? Let's not even listen to this guy. This guy is clearly off his meds. Go back to bed, Grandpa. Am I right, chat? And it's just very clearly, he's not even actually said those words. It's just desperate. Really, it's just desperate. They are trying to. I liked what Lander said on this. Lander has been popping off lately. He's been liking a few of the posts. He's been liking some. I've been popping off too, apparently. No, W Lander. We all love Lander. But he made a good point of they're trying to these news outlets are bringing in all these key figures like the King of England, the King of Britain, who surely is British because of look at him, the crown, the British, the way he talks. He's the king. He has to be British, right? And also they bring in a few other subjects or people because again, other news outlets running off what Lowe actually didn't even say, are saying that, well, actually, under Rupert Lowe's definition, Harry Kane's not even English. Winston Churchill's not even English. We love these people, right? Come on. So they're trying to tug on people's heartstrings to make them not support Rupert Lowe. But then Lander went on to say the fact that, well, Harry Kane isn't fully English. He has one English parent, one Irish parent. So in terms of Harry Kane ethnically is native to the British Isles because he's Anglo-Celtic, but he isn't British in the sense of he's not a native Brit. He's half English, I believe. He's half English by this definition, by Restore's definition of, if both your parents are born in the UK, then you yourself are fully British. So under this definition, Harry Kane is Anglo-Celtic, half Irish, half British. So he is a native British. Winston Churchill has one parent from America, one parent from England, but of course America is very Anglo, and actually if you go back onto that side of Churchill's family, of the American side, it can be traced back to England. So Churchill, we can safely say, is British. So credit to Lander for making that point. Incredible point by Lander. I'm not saying that, I'm not nicking it from him. I'm just saying, just repeating what he said, basically, just to reiterate and to reinforce my point. So shout out and credit Lander for that point. But they are really trying to tug on, these key points. They're trying to make him look like an idiot from something that he's not even actually said. I mean, think about that. Lowe has not directly said King Charles III of Britain is not a white Briton. So they've made an article off how Lowe did say that. And then they've made another article talking about building off that point that isn't even a real point. So that, in that sense, it is absolutely ridiculous. And of course, all the media crash outs. I think what's his name? Something Heath? Alistair Heath, I believe, has made multiple articles saying that, Restore Britain are a dangerous party, they're far right, they're idiots, all that. And I said something like, either the news is slow to encourage the Telegraph and Heath talking so much about Restore, or Heath himself is just slow. Could be both. So I said something along those lines. But it's just ridiculous. I mean, the absolute media onslaught. It is beautiful to watch the crash outs. And actually, we have a crash out lined up here from the woman, the myth, the annoying brat herself, Alex Phillips, who crashed out on Talk TV, a pro Farage figure, crashing out on Rupert Lowe. So let me just play the audio for you here now.
Rupert, the most preposterous, pompous, pathetic, pointless politician in the world. Oh, for God's sake. Did you hear him on the Today programme the other day? It's like, shut up, Grandad. Stop rambling. He's mad. He's mad as a...
Pause the clip. Pause the clip. Rewind.
Today programme the other day. It's like, shut up, Grandad.
Rewind.
Oh, like, shut up, Grandad. Stop rambling.
It's like, shut up, Grandad. Stop rambling. Am I right, guys? No one laughs. Literally no one laughs. No one laughs. You can hear a slight pause, an awkward pause.
Today programme the other day. It's like, shut up, Grandad. Stop rambling. He's mad. He's mad.
And then she has to follow up with, he's mad. He's mad. He's a hat at this. He's off with the hat as this one. But it's just, just shut up. Please. Please just... Alex Phillips, if you're listening, you seem... I'm not even going to lie, you seem like a twat. Please just stop talking. Please just retire permanently. Stop being a public figure. Retire. Someone said, "Shut up, Grandad, stop rambling." Oh, they even spell "Shut up, Granddad, stop wambling." Oh my days, she's just actually insufferable. But we will continue with the clip.
There's a hat to this one. I don't think he's connected
Doesn't think
to
the
the
King's
real world
British.
as well.
Doesn't think the King's
We don't know what he
British.
thinks. He doesn't think anything. He's just got a load of like youngsters who are basically the same as influencers.
Again, I will be reiterating a point from Landa. Credit to Landa from this point. She starts off by saying that, well, inferring that Rupert Lowe is too old when he's 6 years older than Nigel Farage. Now she's complaining that that Restore is too young. So clearly there's no form of coherent argument in that sense.
Who don't even have driving licenses, most of these men. You know, playing...
Again, isn't true because the youth, well, the more youthful part of the party is 20 and above. Charlie Downs is 22. The people who, the youth part of Restore Britain are all old enough to be able to get a driver's license, so she is just absolutely rambling here.
Games on social media, looking for the Elon retweet. Woo, look at the amount of impressions I've got. I'm like, what's
Oh,
right?
shut
Why
up.
did you
What? I'm so... You can't... Hang on, let me replay that so you can actually see what she's
sell
doing.
the Elon retweet. Woo, look at the amount of impressions I've got. I'm like, what?
That's enough. That is enough. We've silenced Alex Phillips. But this is a generational meltdown. This is next. I don't think I've crashed out this bad on the show. And I've had a few crash outs. I've had a few crash outs at certain people in the live chat, and nothing's been that bad. That is absolutely generational. This is on live TV. This is her job. She's being paid to do that. How is this news? How is this news? This is actually completely ridiculous. This is, I don't know. This is just a generational meltdown on live TV, and it is honest. It's a hard watch. It's a hard watch, but it's so funny watching her embarrass herself and how she's trying to pick up on and trying to defend herself. I think I responded to something she said that you just talk like a child and just shut the fuck up. I got tired of her at one point. I got tired of seeing Alex Phillips on my timeline. So I had to hop in the comment section and go, just shut up. Just shut the fuck up. Sometime. Please. At some point, can we just accept that it's over? You're annoying. It's okay. Just get out of public life. Retire forever. Build a cabin in the Highlands and just leave any form of social life behind you permanently. Because you are just remarkably annoying. She can't be a real person. NPC core. Actual NPC core. But yeah, so we've talking a little bit about the Talk TV crash out. Now we have our final. After we read this article and I leave you with those thoughts, we'll be getting into the live chat a little bit and then getting off. Because I'm still tired. I arrived home really late last night. And I'm just in general quite tired, so you know we won't be broadcasting into the night too much. So this is a news article from the Jewish Chronicle. This was released earlier today, actually. So it's titled "Restore Britain co-founder Charlie Downs appears to suggest Farage was bought by Jews." So, the co-founder of far-right political party Restore Britain has seemingly implied that he believes Reform UK leader Nigel Farage has been bought by Jews. The 25-year-old activist responded to a recent post shared by Farage in which the former Clacton MP, who is contesting the seat again on August 13th, said he could not be bought. Commenting on the post, Downs shared an image of Farage at a launch event for the Reform Jewish Alliance, Reform UK's Jewish organisation, without offering any explanation of his meaning. Campaigners have subsequently accused Downs of repeating the oldest smear used to demonise Jewish people with the post. Alex Hunt, director of Labour Against Anti-Semitism, said Restore Britain spokesman insinuated that Nigel Farage had been bought by Jews, the oldest smear about money and influence. delivered as a picture so that nothing could be quoted back at him. It is not an aberration. Charlie Downs has said his party believes that Britain is a people defined by indigenous British ancestry and Christian faith, a definition under which no Jew and no other minority can be British, however many generations we have been here. High-profile Restore supporters have called for Jews to be deported, and the party will not disown them. Anyone who objects to racism should object to Restore. They are the far right in a suit. Then it goes on to say Downs, who has been a part of Restore since its inception, has also lamented the fact I'm tired, it's late. Okay, don't judge me. I'm not an idiot, I promise. But yeah, it says Downs, who has been a part of Restore Britain since inception, has also lamented the fact that he believes that white Britons will become a minority within 50 years, calling it a terrifying prospect. Actually, it goes in a little bit more. On Thursday, leader of Restore Rupert Lowe refused to confirm if he believes that King Charles is a white Briton, owing the fact that the incumbent British monarch has a single foreign-born parent. So, of course, what they are saying, the Jewish lobby does support Farage for the most part, but this lobby is saying, this Chronicle, by the way, the Jewish Chronicle crying anti-Semitism because, it doesn't mean, what Restore is saying doesn't mean that Jews can be British. It's like, well, Jews aren't British. You're Jews, which is fine. You can be your own thing. Just don't try and be us, because you aren't us. You'll never be us. But it's just ridiculous. They aren't disavowing Farage for what he said. It's the exact same thing as Charlie Downs has said, but they are disavowing Downs and Restore as a whole. But it's just true. It's just all of it is true. What is being said is true. Farage was bought out. The Jews do influence politics a decent amount in America, in Britain, across the West, with their organizational wealth. Well, when they come together, they're like APAC, the Deputy Board for British Jews, these organizations which push pro-Jewish, pro-Israeli sentiment, that crack down on anti-Semitism, aka criticizing Jews, criticizing Israel, and as well in terms of APAC, spend literally millions of dollars to de-seat Israel-critical representatives in the House. So how you can actually sit there and lie and say that, well, actually it's just an anti-Semitic trope to say that Jews and these organizations put money into the flow and actually they influence politics to benefit themselves. What else would you call it? What else would you call the incident of the most expensive Republican primary in American history be because APAC, the American Israeli Political Action Conference, donated millions upon millions into the primary to make sure that Thomas Massey, incumbent seat for somewhere in Kentucky, I believe, the incumbent congressman who was trying to go ahead for re-election to become the Republican candidate for that district, they're spending, and he's Israel critical. That's the thing to mention. Thomas Massey, an Israel critical Republican, tried to go for a re-election. AIPAC spent millions, so much money, it became the most expensive primary election in the history of the Republican Party because AIPAC, the pro-Israel, pro-Jewish organization, did not want a popular anti or Israel critical candidate being put on the Republican ballot. Did not want them serving again in Congress. And Thomas Massey's a popular guy. He probably would have won. He probably would have won that election. So how you can actually sit there and make this whole point is just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But that's that whole media meltdown. We've got, well, we're 5 to 10. We've still got quite a few live chats to get through. So we'll be now diving into the live chats, talking a little bit about what you guys think about that, and then we'll be getting off for the evening. When you're in Ireland, how many bicycles were there in windows in pubs, ropes on tables, Guinness glasses having 20% froth at the top instead of actual drink, Lamau? I didn't pay too much attention to a lot of the bicycles or stuff like that. I didn't go into many pubs. I went mean, we stayed on a car park of this one pub, which is where the photograph of the Guinness came from. But no, besides that, I didn't really go in any other pubs. And in terms of the lot of froth, that's normal because with Guinness, there's a lot of nitrogen in it, so there is a large amount of froth. But I do think the amount of froth is offset by just how good the drink is. Honestly, when you drink Guinness, I know you can't yourself, but I mean, anyone in chat who thinks the same thing, try Guinness, then get back to me. You have to drink through the froth, granted, because it's a lot of nitrogen and stuff, so you have to make sure you get a big gulp to get past the nitrogen. Boy, it's so good. It's so good. Guinness is so good. I think if the British Empire was formed again and the EU was led by the British Empire along with her colonies, then I'd pick EU. But Commonwealth is peak, and we should move to the Commonwealth. Commonwealth is peak. Anglosphere is peak. Absolute cinema. Absolute. We want the Anglosphere. We want the Anglosphere. If we ever go to war with Russia, can we send Keir Starmer's Ukrainian rent boys to the front line? Oh, that's Cameron. Oh, I feel so bad for crashing out on you now because you're actually a W viewer. I'm sorry for I'm actually so sorry, Cameron. I'm actually so sorry. Oh, send Keir Starmer's rent boys to the front line. That is so funny. Oh. Favorite site you visited in Ireland? Oh, I don't know what I'm thinking. Like it's even a thing. The Irish National Heritage Park in the southeast of the country. It's so good. I would recommend if you were ever in Ireland and you're near Cork. It's a bit of a drive, but the Irish National Heritage Park, goated. So good. Incredible experience. Absolutely incredible experience. I can't drink alcohol. This is Ank. I can't drink alcohol. One drug I was on has caused 10 years worth of alcohol damage to my liver. I was only on the drug for 2 months. Any drinking could shut down my liver. Sorry to hear that. Again, another. Well, I think that's less so of an NHS mess up. That's more so of a unfortunate side effect of a drug, which you can't unfortunately test too much. I mean, everyone reacts to everything differently, so that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. But when that's over and you can safely drink, try Guinness. It's good. It'll change your life forever. No, can't stand the stuff. Is that to Guinness? Banished. You have no place in my future ethno state. Oh, I enjoyed that clip. That was a good clip. Unrelated. I mean, you can drink what you want. I mean, in all seriousness, drink what you want to drink. I don't really mind. I like Guinness. You might not. Fair play. But I like that clip. I don't even know what it was in relation to. But in the last live show, I said someone said something and I disagreed and I said you have no place in my future ethno state. And I was watching that back while editing and I was enjoying myself. I enjoyed that clip. I enjoyed that. That was probably, I mean, to be honest, I thought episode 11 was not as good as 10. But then when it came to actually editing it, I preferred 11. I preferred episode 11 over 10. It was so much better in my opinion. Better quality. I just thought it was. So, I mean, that's why I said all the stuff like, latest Tom Burns chat video coming out, my personal favorite. Cause the quality was better. It was just in general better. So I don't know. I don't even know where that came from. Skip down a little bit. Feel like this is the best show besides America First. David, you are actually in good favors tonight. David, can we get a W in chat for David? Please. Please. Goat material. Goat material from David. I'm glad Rupert has a spine and didn't throw Charlie Downs under the bus. Big Yahoo doesn't like... Oh, sorry, that's a different message. Similar profile pictures. Yeah, I'm glad Rupert has a spine. Yeah, I was so glad. When I saw that Farage said that Downs needs to go, a moment, like, worst case, best case scenario came into my head. It was either, Rupert Lowe keeps Charlie Downs and we all go on fine, or he gets rid of him, and then I would have to leave. If Rupert Lowe got rid of Downs, I would leave the party. 100% I would leave the party. So I'm so good I'm so happy that they've kept Charlie Downs in place. They've kept him. I mean, the way he worded it as well. He said, Lowe said something like, "I'm not going to put a British Christian out of a job while he's trying to form a family." Absolute cinema. That was the best way to respond. Big Yahoo doesn't like a British nationalism. See, this is why the articles in Chatkeeper is setting themselves, because Big Yahoo is very clearly infiltrating the chat. We have to recognise this. He's in my computer. There is a form of infiltration going on somewhere. These people are insane, Lamau. They sound as if they're in year 7. They can't be real people. They can't be. They actually can't. Alex Phillips sounds like such a baby. Absolutely such a baby. What's going on with her hands? Is she having a seizure? Well, she's trying to do the whole... Because she's trying to say... Because, of course, ever since Elon Musk and Nigel Farage fell out, they've all been anti... Oh, we no longer like Elon Musk. And because Lowe and Musk are in cahoots, they're quite friendly. She's like, well, yay, I get impressions from Elon Musk. Yippee! She's trying to go for that, and it's just not funny. It's not funny. No one laughed. Not funny, didn't laugh, shut the fuck up. Next topic. Next unfunny joke. Next NPC call moment, please. I've had enough of this clip. The bit is over. Move on. That was a hard watch. Watching that at first was a hard watch. She's literally, oh, good show today, funny topic. Thank you. It's David again. David, you are just... Come here. Come here. She's a fully grown adult throwing a tantrum like a toddler. I honestly just feel sorry and sad for her at this point. There's something wrong with her. There must be. Notice that they call Charlie an anti-Semite, but not a liar. Absolutely. They call me racist. Someone said it the other day in the, I think it was episode 11. Someone said they call you far right, but never far wrong. That it was aura-farming me for, because that was what, because I said that, oh, I've been attacked in the past. I've been, socially shunned. I've had things, happen and all that kind of stuff because people think I'm far right. And someone aura-farmed for me in the chat, glazing me, saying, they will call you far right, but never far wrong. And it's like, come on. I don't even have to aura farm for him. He's just doing it for me. Great show as ever, T. You are only going to get better and better. I know. The more I do it, the better I am getting, I think. Every show is just, getting progressively better. So I'm thankful that you guys think that they're getting better, because that's the point. I want it to be entertaining for you while, delivering the truth, while getting my point across, getting the message, everything will be for Britain. Everything will be for Britain. I can't wait for the day that I say everything for Britain and I reach over here and I grab a hat. I grab an everything for Britain hat. That day will be literally peak. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'm definitely thinking about it. I don't know. I have to reach out to someone. I don't know. Does Angloid make hats? I don't think he does make. He doesn't have a merch line. I don't think he does anyway. So I can't reach out. I don't know. I might try and reach out to Hugh maybe, and just ask. I don't know. I'll try and find someone and just ask, and then I'll try and I'll work it out. I don't know. I'm thinking about it though. The EFB hat is in beginning phase of conception. I have AI art of it that I'm thinking up. At the moment, I'm drafting up the idea. It's lingering in my mind. So I'm tempted at some point. I might just DM Hugh and just go, hey, we haven't spoken before. Hi, hope everything's going well. I just wanted to quickly ask what company you use for the merch lines. Want to talk about that and inquire about that? Maybe. I don't know. But the EFB hat is on its way. It probably will take a while. But it's on its way. Well, here, Cameron, again, you are making me feel even more sorry for crashing out on you. Would love, you have no place in my future ethno state on a t-shirt. Have you considered setting up a merch shop? Oh, never mind, that's on brand what we're talking about. I am considering it. I have drafted up EFB hats, different designs. I have been thinking about a hoodie as well. You have no place in my future ethno state would be really funny to put on something. That would be really funny. That maybe that would not happen immediately. maybe when I have more financial security and don't have to worry about no business ever employing me again, and all of that, when prevents off my back a little bit. But I think that'd be really fun. That would be really funny. You have no future place in my ethnicity. I might make an emoji actually. That'd be better. I might make a custom channel emoji so channel members can post you have no place in my future ethno state somewhere. That would be good. That'd be funny. Naturally, we believe in our own race, as he believes in his own family, Oswald Mosley. It's banger after banger. Actually, banger after banger. A Discord group before merch. I don't know if it will be Discord, but there will be some kind of group chat that will come about before the merch. I can safely say that. Because the group chat is, I don't know if you saw, but I'm currently working on my first piece on Substack. Once the Substack, I've gotten used to that, we're in a bit of a flow, then I'll move on to my next project, which will be to the satisfaction of Ank, which will be the group chat. We will make a group chat at some point. Yeah, but that'll be after the Substack is rolling. I'll probably have to make a few articles. I don't know, maybe the group chat could be here within a few weeks. Maybe 4 to 5 weeks, we could have the group chat officially begin launch. We could begin to work on the group chat. I'd like to see it. I'd like to be able to talk to you guys day to day anyway, all that kind of stuff, where I can announce the shows, the videos, what I'm working on, get some thoughts, some polls, get an official Everything for Britain group chat going on. That'd be cool. I want it to happen. I've put too much on my own plate. It's my own fault. But yeah, maybe 5 to 6 weeks, we will begin working on the group chat. But I think that is all we will be talking about tonight. I just want to thank everyone for tuning in. Massive thank you to Nathan for the super chat. Massive thank you to Nathan as well for the 2 gifted channel memberships. Massive shout out if we can get a W for Nathan in the group chat. Of course, thank you to everyone that has watched, everyone that has participated. I appreciate every single one of you. It's so good to be back. So good to be back. I missed you all. Incredible show. Hope you've all had a great time. I know I have. Hope everyone has a great rest of their evening, and I'll see you next Monday live if I don't catch you in a video later this week. So again, thank you all so much for tuning in.